You know, it's been a little bit since I recorded while eating. And I've decided to fix that. I'm eating ramen now. Last time that I was eating ramen, right, it was vegetarian ramen. And the reason for that was I was a vegetarian. I lived in Asheville, North Carolina. And it was very easy to be a vegetarian there. There were a lot of vegetarian options, both at restaurants and in grocery stores. There were some vegetarian-specific grocery stores, and I'm not just talking like, you know, you go to the market, there's farmers markets and stuff, right? I'm talking about like actual, factual, like full-on grocery stores. There were some that were just devoted to just vegetarian stuff, and others, even like the big ones, like, you know, Walmart and Harris Teeter, or Harry Tits, as we used to call it in college, had like large vegetarian sections, even though they did have meat as well. It was like probably about 50-50 split, right? So it was really easy to be vegetarian there. When I moved up to where I'm currently living, the place that I'm currently living just does not have vegetarian options, basically any vegetarian options. And I tried maintaining vegetarianism for like a year, and it became clear my diet was just not healthy, because there were just not enough ways to get the various nutrients that I needed. Ooh, that's a bad dodge. I mean, it's not really, like, there's other, you know, you can do other kills. But that is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, so this time, it's just like the most generic, God, this is so bad for you. It's ramen, like microwaved ramen, that I got at the store. It's not vegetarian. It doesn't have like meat itself in it. It has flavor packets, but the flavor packets use actual animal for flavoring. I still, even though I'm not a vegetarian anymore, I still try to limit my meat consumption when possible. If there's like a beyond substitution or an impossible substitution or a Gardein substitution, I'll go with that. I'll have like, you know, impossible or beyond burgers instead of regular burgers. But would you believe that the place that I'm at, there's actually no vegetarian instant ramen. Like no options whatsoever. Initially I was going pescatarian, so I would have like the fish flavored ones. There's like shrimp flavoring packets. But there's literally, even though I know that even this brand makes some vegetarian ones. And there aren't any. It's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah. I wonder if Astria is vegetarian. Oh, he crit. To me that says yes. To me that says it's time to celebrate with some noodle slurping action. I don't know if you could hear that or not. I did slurp up my first bite. Oh, it's still hot. I made it in the microwave because it's like 2 in the morning right now. So I did make it in the microwave, actually, because it's 2 in the morning. You know what's really sad? I don't know. I got distracted. I don't know. So yeah, this map's not that hard. Most maps in the first, like, 2/3 of this game are not that hard. The big sort of trouble with this map, I don't know, trouble's probably the wrong word. The big sort of gimmick with this map, there's a lot of archers, and there's a narrow area across a one tile where you kind of want Marth to go so he can go to the village to get, like, Thoron. It's either Thoron or Bolgano, and I don't remember which. It's a spell. It's an item. And because all of the enemies, like, in that sort of barracks area are archers, Marth can't retaliate against them. So instead he gets shot by them. But it makes a good time to train Tomas. Or, if you're not trying to train Tomas, like, use George. George is very good on this map. This is a good George map. Yeah, that's sort of how that is. This footage seems really stuttery. Does this footage seem stuttery to anyone else? Why is this footage so stuttery? That's so weird. That's so weird. This is only at 2 times speed. I wonder... I took the already cut together chapter clear. I wonder if the chapter clear itself was sped up when I put it at 2 times speed. I mean, this playthrough is half shitpost anyway. The description literally says, like, half challenge run, half shitpost. So, like, it being stuttery isn't a huge deal to me, but I'm gonna take a look real quick, see if I can fix that. Okay, after some brief investigation, I discovered that there was a program running in the background of my computer that was slowing down the playback of the video. I don't know if it's actually going to end up stuttery on your end, because I was just playing back the video in my editor while I'm talking over it. That's, I guess, a view behind the scenes. I'm recording all of my audio in Audacity, and I use my video editor and play the sped up version of the video in the video editor to see if, or not to see if, to match, right? To match along. Tomas double. Ooh, he got crit. Oh no. I mean, we have one of our clerics here, Maria. I can't tell Maria and Lena apart when they're just their cleric sprite, just the map sprite. If he gets crit again, Tomas is done for. And Tomas is pretty cool. So, I don't want Tomas to die. Yum, yum, yum. More slurping. All the noodles. Oh my god. This is very good. But, it's like, it's the cheapest slop. It's the cheapest slop available. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. Oh. It's very tasty, but it's so cheap and it's so bad. It's so cheap and bad. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. Cool thing on this map, another cool thing on this map, we get 2 of the White Wings on this map. Pala and Katria join. They join as enemies because green units didn't exist at this point in the series. But they're not aggressive. They have the same AI Minerva had a couple of maps ago, where they will charge down Marth and recruit themselves. I know in FE11, they show up even if Minerva is dead. I remember hearing something about how in either FE3 or FE1, they won't show up if she's dead. But I don't know if that's true or not. I also know that, like, the map they show up is, like, different in the different games. I think in FE3, it's not this map for some reason. Or they show up in a different area. I don't remember, actually. I literally, like, just played FE3 Book 1, and I don't remember. Nice job. Nice job, Harden. Proud of you, buddy. Yeah, so, this is a map where, like, I think the enemy design really kills what otherwise would be a cool map. I like the archers being in the barracks there. I think that's a cool little, like, wrinkle. But I guess it's not enemy design so much as enemy density, or rather lack thereof. There's no enemy density, like, whatsoever. Yeah, there's, like, no enemy density whatsoever. It's, bad. It's bad. It's bad. I do really like the Arcanea games. Like, I promise I do actually really like the Arcanea games. I've been very negative these last couple of episodes. And, like, I think part of it is, right, that the first game in a franchise that you love, and I do like Fire Emblem. I don't know if I would say I love it. I don't know. I devoted my career to it. So that's a little bit of a mistake. But I do still enjoy Fire Emblem in some ways, but I also dislike large parts of Fire Emblem. But in its infancy, oftentimes in the infancy of series, there's going to be significant issues that, like, later entries just wouldn't have, right? Although that's not even always the case. Like, I'm thinking of the other big, like, oh, there's all these issues game series is Pokemon, right? And, like, a lot of the issues that are in Gen 1 do get solved, like psychics, right? And, like, bugs. But later parts of the series introduce other issues. So I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying. All I know is the lack of enemies in the center portion of the map just makes this kind of a slog to play through. The reason, by the way, that I have Minerva with Tomas is not just because I want to heal him, but because I was debating whether or not to use a Warp Staff on Marth just to save him the tedium of walking all the way around. Now, there are a bunch of Pegasus reinforcements that will be showing up starting this turn, actually. Technically, they started last turn, but, like, that's Pala and Katria. And that's sort of like that's what you fight in the courtyard after you kill the, like, 5 armor knights that exist. There's just wave after wave of Pegasus Knight that you sort of fight in, see that, like, 2 tile over there on the left by the trees? That tends to be where I fight them. And I guess that's supposed to, like, occupy your main squad, or maybe some of your main squad, while the rest of your main squad fights in the throne room. Because there's some armor knights that can be hard, and then, like, the boss is just tough, because bosses have high stats. I say tough as in, like, beefy, not as in difficult. I don't think he's difficult to kill, but he takes a lot of punishment because of the way that magic works, like, either fixed damage magic because he has no resistance, but he has high HP, or a lot of physical weapons, which you can scale lots of damage on, won't deal a lot to him because of his HP. So, yeah. I mean, the same is true to an extent of the Armor Knights. Like, you see Minerva there was only dealing 5 times 2. Sire, it's been a while! Greetings, Sire! I don't know why they address Marth as Sire. Isn't Sire, like... Well, I guess Marth is a lord. I was gonna say, isn't Sire, like, the lord that you serve or whatever, but maybe it doesn't have to be. I don't know. Who here are Sire experts? Which among you? Who among you are Sire experts? Anyway, it's time for Tomas to ascend to Sniper! That's sort of the main thing that he does on this map. Yeah, so a bit of a buyer's remorse in terms of, not buyer's, spender's remorse in terms of using the manual on George. Like I said a couple of maps ago, that was the biggest mistake of this run. But at the same time, never punished. Never punished probably isn't the right term for it. It's unnecessary, right? Like, I trained Tomas up, and, like, it would have been nice to have the better sniper be the one who has Parthia, but the worst sniper having Parthia still can accomplish the Parthia things that I need accomplished. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Well, maybe I don't know, say in the comments, do you think at the end of the day that's what really matters? Or do you think I'm coping to make up for the fact that I'm a hack and a fraud and I'm very bad at video games? Actually, one of my sort of, like, guiding principles on these zero growth runs, right, is, like, I'm not good at Fire Emblem, and I don't pretend to be. Or rather, I'm not, like, great at Fire Emblem, and I don't pretend to be. Like, I frequently make very, very stupid mistakes. I frequently overlook things, I frequently overthink things, I frequently just lack knowledge or do math wrong or whatever, or just, like, get reckless. And part of my point is that you don't have to be a top-tier Fire Emblem player to do a zero growth run. I'm not a top-tier Fire Emblem player, and I have done quite a few zero growth runs, and I plan on doing quite a few more. And as such, the idea that I sort of try to get across with that, and with including these mistakes, and with the fact that, like, I have a ongoing Blue Lions 0% growth playthrough that, like, is actually incredibly embarrassing. The amount of... I took a break from it for a year, and then I came back knowing more about Three Houses than I did when I started. And, for example, there's a portion of that playthrough where I have Vantage Wrath on Dimitri, but I don't use Retribution, and I instead just try to navigate around 2 range, because I forgot Retribution existed. So, like, I do eventually plan on publishing that playthrough. And my point is, you do not need to be some sort of top-tier expert to do these challenge runs. And in fact, I'm a stupid, and I do these challenge runs. And I don't say I'm a stupid in order to insult myself. Like, I do actually have pretty good self-respect for my intelligence and whatnot. But I say it in terms of, like, I frequently make stupid mistakes, and I'm still able to accomplish these. And so if you have been thinking, if you've been on the edge of doing a 0 EXP run, or 0 growths run, or whatever, but you've been hesitant because you're like, oh, well, I'm not actually that good at this game or this series or whatever, you should do it. Anakin archetype. You can do it!